Hi, beautiful people. We are here at the 21 Queens interviewing Miss Dr. Debbie Goodman. Hi, Miss Goodman. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Tina. Thank you so much to you and Nicole and your staff for inviting me on this wonderful, exciting platform. I'm so delighted and honored to be among such amazing women. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we are honored to have you, Dr. Debbie.
Thank you.
So, I want you to introduce yourself and tell us what do you do?
Sure. So I'm Dr. Debbie Goodman. I do a few things actually. I am a criminologist. I
Okay.
host a radio show, Crime Time with Dr. Debbie.
Oh,
Yes, thank you. I used to host a TV show, Justice for All. I write crime books,
wow.
and I'm also a professor of crime, law, and justice.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thank you. But if I may add to that too, that's just part of who I am because I think the also in addition to that, the family part is so important. And I'm also the proud mom of two boys, my sons,
No.
SONS and SUNS.
Oh, okay, okay. So, what I know you say you have your radio show and all this. So I guess I was going to ask you what types of services you provide, but
Sure.
the,
No, but I could answer that. Yeah. Thank you for that question because I think the most important service that I provide is that of education.
oh,
And
okay.
being a college professor now for 30 years, having served at Miami-Dade College, FIU, and now St. Thomas University, it really is just an incredible journey seeing the thousands of men and women with whom I've had the pleasure of working really achieve their goals and their desires professionally. So many of my students become FBI agents,
Wow,
DEA, Customs, Marshals, Secret Service, Homeland Security. So
wow.
I'm very, very proud. I'm Dr. Debbie, but also Aunt Debbie. So I think that's the primary service. I
Hmm.
would also like to add that although I am a widow, I had an amazing love in life,
Hmm.
my late husband, but
Hmm.
my boys and I have established community outreach and community service to
Hmm.
honor my late husband and their father, one of which is called Marlins MVPs. And so, with the Marlins baseball organization, we partner with them and we host families who have lost a parent. So, we bring the children out to the ballpark with the surviving family member, and we spend a day watching the baseball game and having lunch together, meeting the players. So I'm really proud of my boys for establishing that. And we also here in South Florida partner with Boys and Girls Club, and we raise money for baseball equipment, bats and gloves and cleats and such. And people donate gently used equipment so that the children can have baseball opportunities throughout the summertime.
I was on mute. I was like, that is so beautiful. That is so
Oh, thank you.
beautiful.
Thank
Um,
you.
Let me ask you, what is your superpower? Because you done did it all. You've done FBI agents and so what is your superpower?
Wow. Well, I think I will answer this way, both personally and professionally. I really adhere to and believe in CPR,
Hmm.
courtesy, professionalism, and respect. I think that regardless of with whom we're interacting, we should always be the ones to offer that first. It shouldn't matter if one is interacting with a plumber, a politician, a judge, a janitor, a student, a senator, that everybody should be treated with the utmost integrity and dignity and character and respect. So I really try my whole life, even as a little girl, I'd be the one to befriend the other little girl who maybe was new to the school and always trying to utilize emotional intelligence, recognizing how are people feeling in a situation, being empathetic. But overall, I would say the superpower, if you will, is always on a daily basis, personally and professionally, treating everybody with courtesy, professionalism, and respect.
That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. So, Mrs. Dr. Debbie Goodman, what made you choose this career?
Right. That's a great question. And my students have been asking me that for 30 years. My undergraduate studies were at FSU in Tallahassee, and I was very interested in a lot of different things: communications, law, criminal justice, psychology. But when I started taking more and more criminal justice courses, what ended up happening one day was one of my professors at the last minute had to miss class.
Uh-huh.
So he had asked me, Debbie, can you teach the class? Now, mind you, I was 19 years old at the time, and it was an auditorium of 300 of my student colleagues. But of course, I said yes. And I was able to, have an hour or so to prepare before the class. And I also decided that I would ask the class for their feedback so that the professor would know how it went. It would be anonymous feedback. They didn't have to put their name. But I'll tell you, Tina, that experience as a 19-year-old, that's where I knew this is what I want to do. I want to be a college professor. And the feedback from the students was very favorable as well. So it really gave me the confidence in the direction because, again, I was thinking maybe I want to be a psychologist and that's a great career, or maybe I want to be a lawyer. That's a great career. But once I was in charge of the classroom, if you will, and that dynamic and exchange of teaching and learning at a higher level, the adult learning environment, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And when I started my career, literally a year later, I was 20 years old teaching 20-year-olds at Miami-Dade College. That's how my college teaching experience started. And I was very grateful then and now. Yes.
That's that's amazing. I don't know what I would have did.
Right. But as a 20-year-old, I may have looked like
Yeah.
I was 15 or 16, but again, I knew I had to be prepared
Mhm.
and really have that ability to share the knowledge with the students. And back to CPR, I always treated every student, even though now at that time we're pretty much, the same age. But the CPR went a long way, as did the preparation, the planning, as well as the execution of the teaching material.
Wow. Wow. That is, I mean, that's amazing. I don't, you said you were like 19 and you had to teach the class of 300. Did they know
Yeah,
you? You know how
they
they
did, of course, yeah, because
okay.
I was still like a student in that
Uh-huh.
class, but the professor wasn't going to be there that day. I felt honored and privileged that he would reach
Yeah,
out to me,
I
knowing that
know.
I'd be able to handle it. Of course, I didn't want to let him or the class down, so I prepared the best I could for that lecture and that lesson, and just wanted to garner the feedback to know in the future how could I do it better. But they were very pleased with the performance, and that gave me the confidence to make this my career.
Wow, you've done some awesome stuff. I'm just listening when you said that all the people that you have produced, like I said, FBI agents, secret
Yeah.
agents, like who gets, what queen gets to say, okay, I taught them.
Right, but I'm very proud of them. And they still, if I should see them out at a venue or a function, Professor Goodman, I don't know if you remember me, but I was in your class, 20 years ago at FIU or 25 years ago at Miami-Dade College. So it's really very special because then they'll introduce me, to the husband, the wife, the children. So you could really see how the career path uh, became
Yeah,
the end result for them. And I had a small part in that, which is very, I'm very proud.
yeah. You had a big part.
Thank you.
You
I'm
had a
still
big part.
humble. I'm still
You're
humble,
passing
but
on legacies.
thank you. Thank you. But education for me, Tina, is really the gift and the calling because that's something nobody can ever take away from us. And to always encourage and motivate students, no matter where they are in life. We don't always have the so-called traditional student that's just coming to college with
Mhm.
us right out of high school. And especially now in a pandemic, we're looking at more and more adult learners who are shifting in their own journeys of careers
Yeah.
and need a new skill set.
Wow.
So yeah, just there to help and uplift and motivate and see them through fruition.
That is what's happening. A lot of people are going back, even older people.
Sure,
People
sure,
are,
but it's never too late. I had an opportunity also. One of my students, Lou, he had been an airline pilot down here for, I don't know, I say down here in South Florida for
okay.
25, 30 years. He
Uh-huh.
had always wanted to be a police officer. At the time that I met him, he was in his 60s and he went through and successfully completed the police academy and today is still an officer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's never too late.
Yeah, it isn't. It isn't. I'm gonna get some to a deep question. You know,
Sure.
as women, we always dealing with something or another.
Yes.
So in your career of this is a male dominated field, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
what hurdles, what obstacles have you encountered and had to come over to get where you're at?
Sure. So, probably in those years first starting, the
Mm-hmm.
two hurdles would have been the age. That was definitely not in my favor.
Mm-hmm.
And also the female gender. Again, starting my career, people thought, oh, she won't last longer than, maybe the one semester. But for me, that's the greatest kind of motivation, because when somebody
Advocate.
thinks, yeah, yeah, I love that, honestly, because if somebody thinks I can't do something,
Mhm,
I've got to do it, and I've got to do it great and better
mhm,
than even my own expectation. So that just became more like noise for me. Other people's opinion of me doesn't necessarily need to formulate my own opinion of myself. That's what I
mhm,
had to decide early in my career. And I also had to decide, and I still do that every single day. You must give your best. Don't give anybody a reason to fault you or blame you or, look, see, I told you she couldn't do it. So
mhm,
sometimes we have to go above and beyond to just be considered good enough.
yeah,
Um, what I would also mention is that when we are good in our discipline, other wonderful things come. So
mhm,
just by being a good professor, then I had the opportunity to write the crime books. And by writing the crime books, I was on somebody else's show, a local TV program here in South Florida. And a producer said to me, gee, Debbie, you really should have your own TV show talking about crime and cases. So that opportunity led to the show, which then led to the next opportunity for the radio show. So I think that's a beautiful pathway for us to consider in our own personal and professional growth and development. That
mhm.
when you're good and you're committed and dedicated and devoted, more good things come, and the ability to help others is the greatest of all.
That's awesome. Again, where do we find your show and
Thank you.
podcast? How we
Yeah.
find Miss Dr.
Uh,
Debbie
Thank
Goodman?
you. Thank you, my agent, Tina. But I do have my website, and for our guests who would like to visit, pretty much a lot of content is there.
Okay.
Primetimewithdrdebbie.com.
Prime Time with
Yeah,
Dr. Debbie.
primetimewithdrdebbie.com. That's the name of the radio show, and it'll tell you all about me and how to get in touch. And a lot of the shows are also on the website. So for our
Okay.
guests who would like to go and maybe revisit some of the shows they missed, there are about 50 shows are there on the
Okay.
platform. Yeah.
I'm going.
Thank you.
Asking for myself.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this. How do you measure success in life?
Yeah. Again, I have a very strong faith foundation.
Mhm,
My family provides such love and
mhm.
devotion as I do for them, reciprocity, and
Yes,
the friendships I have. Tina, friends, my best friends literally are my friends since kindergarten. So,
that's
so we're a group of four friends. Yeah. And that's when you really know it's nice when everybody's there for the birthday parties and the anniversaries and the celebrations and graduations, but who's really there for you, right? That's a question we could all ask in our deepest, darkest hour.
mhm,
And who are you calling if need be, and God forbid there's an emergency circumstance at 1 a.m.? Whoever
mhm,
would come to mind, that one or two people in your life, that's a real
mhm,
blessing, would be my
mhm.
humble opinion.
That's
So
beautiful.
that's how I measure success. I think the best resource really is the human resource. Who in your life, people,
Mhm.
titles are nice, but they're fleeting. They're fleeting. They're going to
Yes.
come
Oh,
and go, but it's the people, the consistency and continuity of really great people. And it doesn't have to be a lot of people. It could be just one handful of people that
mhm.
are there for you and you're there for them.
Yes. Yes, that's beautiful. Too many people think because they surround themselves with a lot of people, but like you said, that handful of people that you know that's there for you is that's success. That's
I
success.
think so. I think so.
Okay. So, what tip would you give? I want to say women, but it might be men watching out here. So, but what tip would you give What tip do you think that women should know? What tip would you give us out here?
Mhm. I would sum that up really in the word ethics, because I think that it's very important as women in being ethical, and the way I view that is knowing what's right, doing what's right. It shouldn't matter who's looking. We don't want to just do things that are right because the boss is looking or the neighbor is peering over. No, when we're ethical, I think it goes to both sides of the coin, meaning in the personal arena, how
Mhm.
are we as women with our families, with our friendships, and women in business? How are we conducting ourselves as female leaders?
Mhm.
And I would also suggest that we are uplifting one another, we're motivating one another. No need to criticize, to demean, to degrade. Absolutely not. I'm all about trying to motivate and uplift. But I think at the core of all of that is a really true, solid ethical foundation that we don't deviate from, because we will all have those opportunities to kind of go off the path a little bit. And then why regret? No need to
Mhm.
regret. We just stay true to ourselves and true to our values, the laws, the beliefs, the mores.
That is so awesome. It is awesome talking to you, Dr. Debbie Goodman. It has been awesome having you here, and I cannot wait to see everything you have to bring to the panel.
Ah, well, thank you so much, Tina. And you are a wonderful host and friend and colleague. So you are
Yeah.
the perfect fit for all that you're doing with
Thank
the
you. Thank
platform.
you. Thank
Thank you.
you. And we all going to check you out. So we're going to wrap this up. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we leave?
Well, again, to all of the guests listening, thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm wishing and hopeful that everybody is feeling happy, feeling healthy. We know and understand these are unusual times, but even a platform like this that you and Nicole and your staff are putting together, I think is so meaningful,
Thank
because
you.
it will reach a lot of people far and wide. So thank you for
Thank
the
you. Thank you.
opportunity and honor to participate.
Thank you. And I just want to thank Nicole for bringing us all together. So you have a
Absolutely.
beautiful day. I hope you more success.
Right back at you.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye. Thank you.